Hello everyone, this is EB the Original Master here, and welcome to my 2022 year-end review. I've previously did a year-end review back in 2020, nearly 2 years ago, and I want to do another one for 2022 to tell you guys all of the projects that I've worked on throughout this year and what to expect for the next year in 2023. Now, 2022 for my channel was pretty interesting, I would say, but it may seem like it might be a lot weaker when it comes to like content-wise, like with series and whatnot, but I still will consider 2022 to be a pretty interesting year for my channel. So if you guys didn't notice that back on Christmas of 2021, I have received a Casio CTX 700 keyboard for Christmas that year, and I was really excited to get it because I wanted to own another Casio keyboard that used a more modern day sound chip, and I really liked the way how the CTX 700 sounded like from videos that I've seen on YouTube. So I decided to get one for Christmas, and I ended up getting one for Christmas, and I've showcased all of the demo songs of the keyboard starting on January 1st of that year. I recorded the first part around late December of 2021 is when I recorded the first part of the Casio CTX 700 demo songs, and yeah, so that was one of the first projects that I worked on in 2022, was showcasing everything on the Casio CTX 700, which include the song bank, the rhythm styles, the tones, the arpeggiators, and the music presets. So I did all of that in early 2022, back in January 1st, and I ended on August 6th of 2022 when I released the exercises of the CTX 700. Now, originally, I wasn't going to release the exercises just because I found those to be pretty filler. But since the exercises are still part of the main song bank, I wanted to include it anyways into the video project. So the Casio CTX 700 series was the first series I've started in 2022 for the year. Another project that actually started in 2021 that continued its way through 2022 was the GarageBand Showcase, which was a series that I started back in November of 2021, where I showcased all of the pre-existing instrument categories that are on the GarageBand iOS app on your iPhones. So that was a pretty fun project where I basically showcased all of the instruments, the pre-existing ones that were already built into the app once you first download it. I'm pretty sure that GarageBand is one of the pre-installed apps when you get like an iPhone 11 or newer. I already think that the app is already pre-installed onto your phone, I assume. But yeah, so that was another project that I did in 2022. Well, it was actually technically a 2021 project that carried its way over to 2022, but I will still consider it as a 2022 project regardless. Another project that I did in 2022 was the Casio Cordana Play app. It was an app developed by Casio, which is kind of like a learning tool for players to learn for users to learn how to play the keyboard or their digital pianos. Cordana Play. Yeah, so that's basically what the app was, and the app had these built-in tones that were changeable to the music melody. So what I did was I basically showcased all of the tones that were on the Cordana Play app. And what's really cool about the tones on that app is that the tones sound very identical to the A-squared keyboards back in the 90s that Casio produced back in the day. And if you guys did not know, that A-square and HL are my favorite sound sources of keyboards from Casio. And yeah, so that's another video that I did in 2022. The Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario happened this year in 2022. I've only released 3 episodes this year, and that was A Squeaky Situation, Yoshi's Egg, and Weather the Weather. Those were the only 3 episodes of the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario that had came out this year. And for 2023, I plan on releasing maybe 4 episodes next year, is because that since I want... Hold on, let me rephrase this again. I want 2023 to mostly be a very similar year as 2021, where I mostly focused on the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario and smaller projects and whatnot. But yeah, I want that to happen throughout 2023, is because I don't really consider making more bigger projects. I mean, the Mustache Adventures of Super Mario is a big project, but it's actually a series. It's not like an individual movie project like I did with Super Mario Escape from Bowser Island. Now, that's an individual movie project. That's what I meant by individual projects, while the Mustache Adventures of Super Mario is an actual series that has many different episodes. And I kind of want 2023 to be very similar to 2021, where the Mustache Adventures of Super Mario played a big focus. So yeah, only 3 episodes of the Mustache Adventures of Super Mario came out this year, and I actually had fun working on those episodes. 2022 also marked another interesting year when I started getting into other cartoons, such as the Powerpuff Girls, for example. Yes, the Powerpuff Girls was a new thing that I got into this year, and I've binged the entire original series. I've started binging the series back in June of 2022 with me, Masterface, and Davis9754. We all got together on voice chat on Masterface's server, and we've watched the first 5 episodes of the first season of the show. And then throughout the summer, I've continued to binge the series myself, and I've had lots of fun with the series. It's really cool. I really like the characters, and yeah, the Powerpuff Girls was a fun series. And another thing I want to bring up real quick about that series is that it was confirmed that Craig McCracken, the original creator, is working on a reboot series to the show, and he's going to be heavily involved in it. So I am looking forward to that I'm looking forward to that new Powerpuff Girls series that is coming out in the future. But yeah, I will be taking a look at it when it does come out, hopefully, if that will ever be the case, but we'll find out in the future. So I did 3 Powerpuff Girls videos this year on my channel in 2022. My first video I've done was talking about the series as a whole. Now with that video, I am kind of disappointed about it. It's because that I've recorded it using my laptop, and of course Movie Maker kind of glitched out, so the audio wasn't syncing up with the video, because Movie Maker, the web camera on Movie Maker sometimes does that, and unfortunately the audio was not syncing with the video, but that video was still pretty good regardless. And that video was me talking about my favorite episodes of each of the seasons of the original series. Another video that I released of the Powerpuff Girls was talking about the movie. I reviewed the movie this year, and I also talked about tweets on Cartoon Network, talking about the Cartoon Network taking characters from their shows and designing them based off of another show from their lineup, such as Tom and Jerry, Steven Universe, what's another show? Regular Show, those Cartoon Network shows. And I talked about the Powerpuff Girls style, where I saw certain replies where people were freaking out that they were designing the styles based off of the main girl characters and not the other characters in the show. And if I want to be totally honest, the background characters in the Powerpuff Girls are not that interesting. It's because they don't have dedicated episodes on their own. There hasn't been a single episode in the original series that focused on the background characters of the Powerpuff Girls. It was mostly the Powerpuff Girls themselves. They might do an episode about Mojo Jojo. They might do an episode about him, the Rowdy Rough Boys, because those are major characters of the show, not the background citizens. So I don't know why everyone was freaking out that they were designing the characters off of the girls and not the other background characters. Is because that they don't serve a role in the show. They don't do anything but scream for help and the girls rescue them. That's all they do in the show. Like, so why are you even freaking out about it? But yeah, I made a whole video about that this year. And yeah. And my biggest project of this year that actually came out was Mario and Luigi Meets the Powerpuff Girls, which I released on December 10th. And I had to re-release that video because I discovered some grammatical errors in the video, and I've also discovered that some of the audio files and the music files were placed in incorrect spots, so I had to fix that. And unfortunately, when I went back to rewatch that re-upload, I've noticed another error in the video, and that was in the scene where Bowser kidnaps the Powerpuff Girls and Mario talks about Bowser kidnapping them. I accidentally forgot to put a letter in one of the sentences, so it seems like Mario is talking incomplete, and I dearly apologize for that. I could have went back and fixed that, but I was already getting tired of fixing those errors in the first place. I just wanted to have the video released and done. And yeah, I did make sure to check everything, but I kind of didn't. But it's already been released. I'm not going to re-upload it again, and I'm just going to have to accept the fact that I made a mistake. And I'll be sure next time to double check my work before I release these episodes or projects and whatnot, because we're all humans, we all make mistakes, and you shouldn't be freaking out because we make those mistakes. We all learn from them. So yeah, Mario and Luigi Meets the Powerpuff Girls came out on December 10th. I had to re-upload that on December 11th because I made some errors, because I had to fix some errors and whatnot. That was a really fun project. And yeah, so another thing I want to talk about are some canceled projects that never made it to the spotlight. And those were the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario, Mario in Dreamland, and Super Mario Phantom Blade. Now, those two projects got canceled. Now, here's the reason why I canceled those projects. Phantom Blade, I canceled that project because I wasn't all that motivated with the project. I wanted to keep my focus on the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario, so that's what I did in favor for that. And for Mario and Dreamland, that was supposed to be a Mario and Kirby crossover. I ended up canceling that, is because that I had another idea in mind, and that was Super Mario Phantom Blade. That was the idea that I had after I canceled Mario and Dreamland. And another reason I canceled that is because that I wanted Luke, one of my subscribers and one of my Discord friends, to keep his focus on his channels, because at the time he was pretty busy with his real life stuff and he wanted to focus more on his channel. So I've decided to make another project that I could do on my own so he could mainly focus on his channel and so he can focus on his personal life. So that was the main reason why I canceled Mario and Dreamland, because of that. So yeah, those two projects unfortunately got the boot, and I do not plan on reviving those projects. Is because that Mario and Luigi Meets the Powerpuff Girls was mainly my new big vision, and I actually had lots of fun developing that project, and it actually came out to be pretty good. Let's Plays happened on this channel. Some of the Let's Plays I did this year was, I did Mario Party Superstars. I did that this year. I continued my Let's Play on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games that I canceled last year in 2021 because of lack of motivation, and I've decided to bring that project back, so that LP is still continuing. Live streams this year I've done were the Reading Super Mario Galaxy 2 instruction booklet. I did a live stream playing through Super Mario 3D World. I did a Casio live stream where I showcased the CTX 700 and the CTK 2000, comparing the two keyboards. I also did a stream on SpongeBob's Krusty Cook-Off over on my Sponge Clipper channel, or Sponge Reviewer channel, whatever you want to call it. I also did a Kirby live stream showcasing the websites because of its 30th anniversary this year. And my final live stream that I did this year was on the Super Mario Maker idea book, which I did over on my main channel. So yeah, those are just examples of the live streams that I did this year. I am missing two other live streams that I've done, but you can look it up in my live streams playlist. You'll find those other two live streams that I did in 2022 that I didn't mention. All right, so one more thing that I want to talk about for 2022 is that this year was pretty interesting for me. It's because I got into other things like the Powerpuff Girls, like I mentioned earlier. That was a fun show. I've subscribed to some new channels. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Greek and Shaw. There are two Canadian YouTubers. I've recently discovered their channel this year. They are my new favorite gaming channel. These guys are absolutely hilarious. They make really good content, and I was given the pleasure to join their Discord server. So yeah, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Greek and Shaw. I'd also like to give another shout out to Michael MJD, which is another channel that I recently subscribed to this year. He's a channel who talks about computers. He's like a tech channel where he basically installs drivers and CPUs into computers. He also does videos where he installed different Windows operating systems on a $5 Windows 98 PC. I've recently discovered his channel this year, and I really enjoyed his content. So that's another shout out to him. And yeah, so overall, 2022 for this channel has been pretty decent, and I'm looking forward to 2023. Now, what to expect for next year? Nothing much. All I'm going to do next year is to focus more on the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario. That's going to be my main focus next year. I'm also going to continue more Let's Plays next year, and I'm going to do more live streams. Now, regarding to bigger projects, like big major projects, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do another singular individual project for next year. I kind of do want to focus more on the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario next year, and that's kind of want to keep my head focused for the channel. So I don't have any other plans for other bigger individual projects for next year. I kind of want to focus more on the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario. I want to do more discussion videos. I want to do more of that next year. And yeah, as much as I enjoy doing big individual projects, I still want to continue to focus more on smaller projects and series like the Mustachio Adventures of Super Mario, for example. And yeah. All right, you guys, so that is my 2022 year-end review. Thank you guys for being supportive. Thank you guys for 7,000 subscribers. I've recently hit that milestone this year. Thank you guys very much for that. And a huge shout out to those two channels that I mentioned earlier, Greek and Shaw and Michael MJD. Keep up the great works. And yeah, so I'd like to thank you guys for watching this year-end review, and I'll see you guys next year in 2023. So goodbye, everyone.